What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is Kevin with Optimized Essentials, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you how to really build self-discipline and willpower, because I totally understand when you say something like, I don't have self-control, I don't have willpower, I just don't have the discipline it takes to do what I need to do. And I'll explain all the reasons why in today's video, but if you want some tips and tricks on how to do things when you don't feel like it, or why you're not in the mood to do what you need to do, or how to do things when you need to do it, or when you're not feeling like it, check those videos out, because I share with you the mechanisms, right? The mental and physiological mechanisms behind why you aren't in the mood to do what you need to do, and why you can't build the self-discipline to do what you need to do in those videos. In this video, I'm just going to focus more on the actual building blocks of self-discipline, because I've spent a lot of time trying to figure out how to build self-discipline. I've looked up a lot of videos and articles and books on how to build self-discipline and willpower. And quite simply, a lot of them just seem to miss the mark, or it doesn't seem to actually work for me. I've spent a lot of time trying to figure it out, and I wrote down 6 things that are practical that you can become aware of and start implementing ASAP, because again, guys, it's a system, right? There's a formula to self-discipline. The first 4 are things that you can do, literally do. And then the last 2 are going to be more of, not esoteric concepts, but more of a theoretical concept that can also be employed. I call it the no discipline, self-discipline, and it is something that's very powerful. It's a way to shift your paradigm so that you stop seeing self-discipline as like an iron will. I just gotta force myself to do what I need to do, and do it whether I feel like it or not. There are times when you'll need that, but I'll share with you those two ways that you can get that discipline out of yourself without actually having to exert too much willpower, okay? Woo! So first and foremost, the very first thing we are going to cover when it comes down to self-discipline, it's probably going to blow your mind, is nutrition, okay? I recently filmed 2 videos. Number 1, how to build your discipline with food, and also the best foods for building willpower and self-discipline, okay? I want you to watch those as well if you haven't watched those already. Reason being is your brain, okay? Your brain runs on glucose, and it also is made up of mainly fat, right? Fatty tissue. And it's mostly made up of omega fats, omega-3 fats, and other fatty tissue that is only constructed through eating healthy fats, right? So you want to make sure, 1, you are getting a high quality supply of healthy fats from pasture-raised animals, from organically raised crops that aren't sprayed with pesticides, because those will destroy your gut and cause inflammation in your intestinal tract, which might cause gut permeability and leak stuff into your body, causing inflammation in your joints that you might think is arthritis. It might cause swelling in certain joints, cause swelling in certain tissues, and you just don't want that. It might even cross the blood-brain barrier and get into your brain and cause gut inflammation or brain inflammation, brain fog, and a bunch of stuff you don't want, okay? And then if you consume too much white table sugar, or the white devil products, which is like white bread, pasta, dairy, conventionally raised dairy, all of that is going to cause inflammation in your body, especially white table sugar, because your body doesn't want to shuffle that into its cells. So you have a bunch of sugar circulating in your body, and then eventually gets stored as fat, or it just messes up your system, and you don't want that, okay? You want clean fuel in your body, which will help you work on your discipline, because your mind and your body isn't in a chaotic state, because there's no fires to put out. Inflammation is like a fire to put out. And when you constantly supply your body with low quality foods, it is going to cause a bunch of fire and chaos in your body and burn your body out, okay? And your brain out. So that is the very first foundational piece. Supplement your body, or give your body high quality nutrients, okay? Superfoods like chlorella, superfoods like spirulina, wheatgrass, taking your nootropics there. I couldn't say that in my other videos. Your nootropics like turkey tail, chaga mushrooms, reishi D, all of this is going to help your immune system and also help with potentially your brain. One of the, I believe it was lion's mane, helps with the building of new neurons, right? I forgot the exact term. I'll probably put it up somewhere, but lion's mane has been shown to have like a neurogenesis effect, all right? It literally builds new nerve cells for you, which is powerful, guys, powerful stuff. So food, superfoods, when done correctly, high quality nutrients. If you haven't seen my Achieve Optimum Health, the best scientific diet, check that out. Also check out the best foods for your brain or how to build willpower with your foods. Again, check those out because those are going to teach you the mechanics of nutrition. I don't want to get too deep into nutrition in this video because I already beat a dead horse too many times. Number 2, sleep, okay? You have to get high quality sleep. And if you haven't seen that video on how to get high quality sleep, achieving optimum health through optimizing your sleep, go check that out again because a lot of people, one, don't have the nutrients on board, the resources on board to repair their brain and their body during sleep so that they don't get high quality sleep. Or they are simply in an environment with too much electromagnetic pollution, too much light, right? Too much electricity. It's too noisy. It's too cold, too hot. Their partner's rustling around. They have chaotic roommates. Anytime you're interfering with your sleep, your brain and your body cannot repair. And that is going to deplete your willpower because your brain and your body is simply not recovered to its fullest capacity. And that will lower your discipline. So you got to make sure you're getting high quality sleep in the right environment, okay? Number 3, meditation. Now, recently I've been meditating more and more, and I found my power, my ability to say no to impulses and temptations like any other, like monk-like discipline. Why? Because meditation, like resistance training is to the body, is calisthenics for the mind, okay? Because when you practice observing yourself, when you practice awareness, you become aware of the impulses, the thoughts, the temptations, the desires that arise in your field of consciousness, and you have the ability, the space to say no to these options. And the more you develop your prefrontal cortex, which is your executive center, which is developed through training your awareness and focus, the stronger your discipline is, okay? It's that simple. There's a ton of research online that shows the power of meditation, the power it has on memory, focus, awareness, and discipline and willpower. And I don't want to beat a dead horse for that. If you're interested, go check that out. I recommend practicing at least 15 minutes, working up to 30 minutes. And if you're wanting superpowers, go upwards to an hour, okay? Personally, I practice between 20 to 30 minutes, and I've been practicing for a period of 6 to 8 years, maybe even close to a decade now. And ooh-wee! It gets better and better. Number 4, once you've got down the foundational principles of nutrition, sleep, and meditation, you should have adequate amounts of willpower to do what you need to do. But if you don't for some reason, which is, I don't know how that's the case, you can condition your willpower and self-discipline through baby steps, okay? Instead of conditioning yourself and disciplining yourself to sit down and work for 3 hours straight, how about you just exert your willpower and you discipline yourself to work for 30 minutes? That's how I did it. Instead of doing it for 30 minutes, how about do it just for 15 minutes a day? Build your willpower, your self-discipline to do what you're gonna say you're gonna do by doing a small amount, okay? That's why it's called baby steps. The baby doesn't pop out of the cave and start sprinting. No, it literally crawls around, flops on its ground, on its head, all wobbly, and then it builds itself up to crawl, to walk, and then to eventually run. So the idea behind conditioning your willpower and your self-discipline, the real muscle of the prefrontal cortex, is you exert your willpower on very minor tasks. And here's the thing, you build it like a muscle. So you do 15 minutes today of work. The next day you do 16 minutes of work, 17 minutes of work. You get the idea until you can build that strength, that iron will, where it's like, I don't feel like doing something. No, you will do as I say. And you will sit there and you work for hours upon hours upon hours because you've developed the muscles, right? You put in the reps through doing small steps, the baby weights, the easy weights, to have that willpower, okay? Now, the last two that I'm going to be sharing with you are the keys to doing no discipline, meaning a lot of people have the misconception that discipline has to be hard. No, it doesn't have to be hard, guys. Number 5 that I'm going to show you, the 5th tactic is this: love and passion, okay? The easiest way to discipline yourself is to find a discipline that calls your heart out, that requires, or doesn't require, but that has your heart engaged and involved, right? Think about professional artists. Think about professional MMA fighters, NBA players, NFL players, athletes, professional people. They have a love and passion for what they do. They don't have to discipline themselves to do the work. They want to do it. So the idea is, how do you find an activity that isn't a chore for you, right? It's a chore for someone else, but it's play for you, right? In the beginning, I mean, every now and then I'll still have resistance to filming, but I know that deep down inside, just like for some days when I have resistance to working out, I know that as soon as I start working out and the chemicals are flowing through my body and I'm in the moment, I'm in the zone talking to you guys, I feel damn good. So I remember how that feels, and that passion, that love, that heart calling. Every time I have resistance, I'm like, okay, I don't feel like doing it right now, but I know when I'm doing it, right? People wait to feel like it to do it, but professionals or amateurs wait to feel like it to do it, but professionals do it to feel like it, all right? I know that as soon as I do it, I feel like it. So that's how I've conditioned myself, but it also helps to have a love and a passion for it, because I genuinely love working out. I love bodybuilding. I love building my body. I love filming videos. I like creating. I like teaching. I just love it, guys. It's in my heart. It's in my soul. So that's the easiest way to not have to discipline yourself, by finding something you genuinely enjoy doing and keep working at it and building at it and getting the results, so that the results motivate you to keep doing that process over and over again. Okay, and then finally, the last one, which is another hack that I had for self-discipline that I observed, is higher responsibility. In other words, higher purpose. Now, this can come in the form of a job. This can come as a form of your innate internal responsibility to mankind, or it could just be something that you are externally responsible for. Meaning, let me give you an example. Let's say you are working a job that you are in charge of, that you are the head honcho of. You need to finish this project by tomorrow, or something very severe happens. Or you need to show up for a presentation in your highest, best state. What is the likelihood of you drinking yourself to death the night before? Unless you hate that job, unless you have no passion for it, unless you have no responsibility for that job, where it's just like a job where you're like, you're doing the same things over and over. If there is no passion or no high responsibility for it, chances are or there is a very high responsibility for it, chances are you won't drink yourself to death, or you won't do stupid stuff, you won't get high before the interview, you won't eat a bunch of cheesecake, or you won't eat pizza before it. Why? Because you want to show up, right? A higher responsibility. You need to show up, right? If you have kids, you need to show up for your kids. You don't want to see your kids all doped up, all drunk, unless you're a very bad parent or something. But you want to put yourself in a situation that demands a higher level of responsibility for you, right? For these videos, for me, I can't make a video if I've eaten like pizza, okay? I can't communicate my thoughts if my energy is low. Similarly, a boss, right? A good boss, a good leader cannot perform their best if they made a stupid decision beforehand, okay? So when you put yourself in that position to not, or when you put yourself in a position where you are held to a higher level of responsibility, you're less likely to make a stupid decision, and you are more inclined to make the better decision, because that's simply what you have to do, okay? So that way of discipline is a form of exerting yourself, but it's holding yourself to a higher standard, because you are responsible for not just yourself, but for those around you, okay? Bam! That's it, guys. It's Kevin with Optimize Essentials. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, and stay subscribed for more. If you have any questions, drop it down below, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.